Hi, Cliff Hahn here, broker-owner of Hahn Real Estate in the greater Austin area in Central Texas, answering questions today. And today we have a good question. What do we do in a multiple offer situation? And it's a different experience for the buyer and seller. Just recently, I had a listing where we had 8 offers in 2 days. 8 offers in 2 days, definitely a multiple offer situation. And by the way, if you want us to answer any of your questions, you can call us at 512-971-9556, and we'll be more than happy to answer your question that way. Also, cliff@mytexasrealestate.com. You can email me, and we do not make pushy sales calls, so I'm not going to burn up your cell phone or anything. All right, multiple offers. How do we roll here in Texas with these multiple offers? It's kind of a different experience for the buyer and seller, but the end goal is the same, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. In some states, like Florida and also in California, they have bidding wars, and many times cash buyers get involved, and these bidding wars go round and round and round, and the sales price, the final sales price of the home is way above market value, way above appraisal value, and it drives the market nuts, and it creates a bubble, and disturbs the market, so it goes up, and then after a correction it goes down, and then they go back up again, and it's just crazy. Here in Texas, we roll a lot differently, thank goodness. So let's get back to my example where I have my client is the seller of this property. We had 8 offers in 2 days. We look for the highest and best offer. And that's the phrase to remember, highest and best offer. What does that mean? Well, I meet with the seller after telling everybody that we're taking multiple offers for 2 days. And then on the 3rd day around noon, we'll give everybody an answer, let them know that we chose a contract and if it was theirs or not, and we get on down the road. But here's what goes on between me and the seller. We look at all the contracts, and I provide a seller net sheet, which deducts all the costs that the seller would have to pay in the transaction so that the bottom line, the financial bottom line, the net bottom line for the seller is the highest, and the contract is the best. And what do I mean by best? That means that the seller doesn't have to pay, perhaps for many things. For example, doesn't have to pay for buyer closing costs. I probably won't get you a contract in a multiple offer situation. Doesn't have to pay for the survey. Doesn't have to pay for home warranty, which could be $500-600. Doesn't have to pay even maybe for title. Also, perhaps the option period is smaller. Instead of 10 days, maybe it's 3 or 7. And that gives the buyer a shorter time to back out of the deal. And that means a lot. Perhaps the close date's going to be a little sooner than the other contracts. You see? So we always make sure that we establish the highest and best offer for the seller, my client, the seller, and we go from there. That's how we make our decision which contract to choose. I had some guy call me, he says, on the buyer's side, he was a buyer, of course, he said, I don't want to get involved in any of these bidding wars. I agreed with him, and I said, no, we don't do that here. So on the buyer's side, as I said, it's a little bit different, but yet there are some common traits. On the buyer's side, hopefully you have a good realtor, all right, that knows what they're doing. And it's very important. They will provide you the good advice to provide a highest and best offer in a multiple offer situation. They will provide you a CMA, a comparative market analysis, which establishes the estimated current market value of the property. And you probably want to be a little bit on the high side. But if there's a mortgage involved, remember the property has to appraise for the lender. So you don't want to go too far. And even if you're a cash buyer, you don't want to pay too much for a property. End of story. You just don't want to do that. But you certainly can offer a reasonable high-end offer, the highest price offer that you feel comfortable with. And then highest and best, the best, you basically, the terms the conditions that I explained, you basically want to make the offer clean. And that is not to ask the seller to pay for too much out of the transaction. You might want to make the option period shorter. You might want to have a sooner close date. You certainly don't want to ask the seller to pay for all of, a whole lot of items and then ask for 45 days to close, because that is not going to get you the offer accepted in a multiple offer situation. So highest and best, that is the goal for both the buyer and the seller. It's attained in different ways, but yet the commonality is that you always want to make sure that the highest and best offer is the offer that is chosen by the seller. That's how we deal with multiple offers here in Texas. I'm Cliff Hahn, owner of Hahn Real Estate here in the greater Austin area in Central Texas. Thanks for watching.